Tim's American Beauty was made by Robust Tools, America's premier lathe manufacturer. Quality hardened tool rests and live centers too. Robust. Built to turn wood. Enjoyed for a lifetime.
Thompson Lathe Tools. Welcome to a new level of professional wood-turning tools. Made by a woodturner, for woodturners. Welcome to part 2. I'm just getting my tool rest set at the right level. Okay, what we want to do now is we're going to be turning this part of the bowl, of the platter. So I'm going to curve the edge out a little bit and I'm going to dish this out. Real simple turning, but it's very elegant. But then we get to the fun part because, believe it or not, this is all charred and burned underneath. So we get to play with some fire in a wood shop. Not a great idea, but it's fun. Got to live life on the edge. So we're probably going about, 600 RPM right now. And I just want to pull this across just to make sure I'm kind of flat, because I don't want to take a lot of meat out of the wing yet, because I'm probably going to have to turn it again here in a minute. What I'm doing though is with my eye, I'm kind of going, okay, so if my bowl starts here, my rim's here, that's kind of a nice proportion. It's not quite half. It's not quite 2/3 either, but I want to have a lot of area to do the burning and the gilt cream look. So now you see the hole that's left from the worm screw right here. So just like any bowl, I'm just kind of working my way in. And as long as it's a nice little smooth movement, I'm going to keep going down and down and down. In a second, I'll start stepping across because now I need to start removing wood. But anyway, let me work on this for a few minutes and we'll get down to the shape we will want, and we'll get it all cleaned up and get ready for the fun part. Okay, now I've turned it down to this depth. You can see some ring marks because the bevel, the heel of the bowl gouge right here, rubs when it makes a curve, so it puts indentations which you can't really sand out. So I'm going to take my relief grind, big old scraper here that Thompson makes, and it's got a lot of weight to it, so it's really easy to move back and forth. You can see how it just takes whispers of wood off there. And my goal is I'm going to rub this around until I get rid of all those lines. Because if I do a good job on this, I don't have to sand the inside because we're going to burn it. But it's really beautiful how this thing, there's no vibration, there's no danger with this tool, it can't get a catch. It just does a phenomenal job. That relief grind does everything you need to keep this tool from being aggressive. But it still takes off a really, really nice shaving of wood. So I'm going to stop this and we'll look at it up close and see what that finish looks like. Ooh, I like that. The Robust has a brake so it slows down things quickly. You can see it's looking really, really smooth. A couple more passes there and I think we're going to be ready to burn. You always know how I say things like, don't ask me how I know. So if you're going to work with fire, whoops, make sure you clean up around the lathe. That stuff ignites really easily. So I want to make sure that there is no excess shaving or fuel around here for this thing to catch on fire, because it's really exciting when that happens. So you got to have two things. Welcome to my little friend go and my little friend stop. So have your fire extinguisher handy too. Now this is MAP gas. It's used for welding and soldering, things like that. Plumbers use it a lot. That's the thing you always see on this old house and everything. Sorry about that. So we're going to use this on here. It burns really, really hot. Now this is where I like what Jimmy Clues has done in the past. He will burn this and it chars down inside. So you know wood is soft grain, hard grain. So the softer grain wood is going to burn faster. The idea is that we want to make this more textured. So when we put the gilt cream on, it's got something to go into. So I've got this turned all the way on. Here we go. So it burns really fast and really, really hot. And the reason I left the rim unfinished is because this edge I'm going to turn away so it looks nice and clean inside. So when it starts to go yellow is when you're actually catching the fibers on fire and they're inside the wood, so that's when they're charring out. So you want to make sure they're charred. You also want to make sure that your left hand here on the rim does not get anywhere close to that flame, because this is 1,000 degrees or more. You can actually see it starting to glow red in spots too. Look at that. Oh, what an interesting look and smell inside of a shop. I'm not quite burned there. You'll see me do that a little more. Okay. Now, ideally, you use wood that's really open-grained, that is like ash or oak or something like that. It has a lot of grain to it. Let's see here. Excuse me. I got to grab something. And the reason is the open grain wood means it has harder hardwood and softer softwood. This being Ambrosia Maple, it's pretty much the same consistency. But what I want to do now is I want to take my brass brush and start moving away all the ash. My grain direction's running this way, so you want to come with the grain. And look at how that comes off of there. Really neat stuff. It just builds up on the bed of the lathe, and it's not glowing, so I know I'm safe right now. Nothing's going to catch fire. So anyway, what I'm doing is I'm probably scraping out more softwood than I am hardwood, so when we use the gilt cream, it has more of a dip or a crevice to hide into. God, it's such a weird smell inside of a wood shop. But anyway, give me a minute or two. I'm going to get this all cleaned out. And then we're going to be ready to play with the gilt cream. Okay, Brian and I have been having a discussion off camera, and it made me think that we might want to try something here. He had a good idea. This platter has complementary colors. So the gold and the bronze and the silver kind of blend in and look really nice with this wood. However, you lose this really cool char look. And it'd be great to keep it like that, but we want to show you how to use gilt cream. So Brian had the idea, if I can try to artistically take the torch and just burn some black on here that we can leave, that might be really cool. So what I went ahead and did is I went ahead and cleaned off this lip and sanded it to 320 grit. And now we're going to try this. Now, if it doesn't work, we'll just turn it off and we'll never speak about it again. But if it does work, it could be really, really cool. Can't see a thing here. Okay, let's give this a shot. Oh, help me here. Okay, let's see. What do you want me to do? Move this out of the way? That'd be a good idea. What? Okay, thank you, Brian. Save me from messing that up. Okay, this is gonna be interesting because this is not like a paintbrush. It burns quickly and it's kind of hard to control. I was gonna do this with the gilt cream on there, but I got thinking about the fact that it would melt. Oh, and yeah, I get now what Brian was going for. This is supposed to be my redemption piece, because after what I did to the last Ambrosia Maple, you know, I screwed up all that beautiful wood. Well, okay, here's my redemption piece. Yay, I saved the wood. It looks beautiful. Okay, now let's go back to destroying and burning this wood. Although that's kind of looking kind of neat. We'll see how this goes. I'm kind of thinking I want these kind of going in the direction with the grain of the wood. That blend into there like so, maybe. And let's see if I can go out here. Oh, that's kind of cool. Painting with flame, I like it. A little heavy there, but hard to direct this stuff. Kind of blend that one in over there. It doesn't look so symmetrical. Let's try up here a little bit. See, that quilting wants some colors. I hope I don't melt the camera here. That looks pretty cool. Well, Brian, you think it's good, or should I put it right there?
Yeah, right.
Okay, right there. Put your finger back. Show me exactly where. Oh yeah, we'll do it this way. We'll come in from this edge. How's that look? Is that better? Yeah. What, you want something on this edge?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we'll go that. How's that? Bring that one into there? Yeah. Okay. Let's see, we'll do it this way. Hey, you gotta be careful, you can't, whew, that looks pretty cool. Okay, we'll stay there, stop with that. You can't burn this too hard or you'll get the ash again coming up and you'll ruin your finish. So this is just scorched, it's not charred. So, okay, let that cool off a bit and then we'll get to the gilting. Okay, this is called Viking Silver. I'm trying to distribute it amongst or around on my paper towel here because this little bit of this stuff goes a really, really long way. And so I just want to come up here and just very gently kind of put it in there and rub it. I'm going to actually coat this with almost all silver because by making a brighter background, the other colors tend to pop out. But I do have to be very careful now since I'm doing this edge thing, not to go onto the flat surface of the wood here. So that looks good. I'm gonna put a little more on there. Probably should have worn gloves. I'm gonna look like I got a lot of makeup on now. Gonna flatten that out so it's a little more distributed. Oh crap. I can't get it on my other fingers that are handling this part, so. Okay, don't just stay on the back here. Okay. It's always something. Okay. I'm gonna turn the lathe on in a second to help me out here to distribute this stuff a little better. So, matter of fact, I might do that right now, just on real low speed. And bring it up to the edge. Gets a little bit hot. That's why I didn't do this before I did the rest of the burning. I'm afraid I was going to melt it out of there. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go to a clean spot here and try to wipe off all the excess. Now, we've made crevices in there, and hopefully that's where all the silver's sticking, and a little bit of the black is showing through because that's our background, right? So when we go to the gold and the copper, we're going to start getting a little more creative. Well, that's still a lot on there, so we'll just keep taking that off. Yeah, I want to go till it's not coming out anymore because this stuff dries, but if you leave it too thick, you got a problem. So now it looks like we're getting more soot than anything else. Okay, let's see how that looks. Pretty bad, huh? That's the whole idea, though. This is supposed to be kind of mottled and ugly looking. So let's see, take off a little bit more there. Okay, now we're going to go for, I think it was copper I did first. So we're going to go copper. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to work through the copper and the gold for a few minutes and start blending this. And then you're going to see the effect that this can all have. So let's see here. Go real thin in a couple spots. Just be as random as you want. Like so. Okay. Take it to the edge. Yeah. Give me a little while on this and this is going to look really cool. Now we're kind of in that little nitpicky stage because I've got 3 colors on there. I got the copper, gold, and silver, but we're trying to make this stand out a little bit. So instead of going in circles, I'm taking little bits of color and just kind of wiping it in to where we can get little effects with it. So this takes a little bit of playing with it to get it to look like what you want it to look like, but any look you want you can do, and you can get many different colors than what I've got. So anyway, I'm going to play with this a bit. Once I get it to where I like it, then we're going to put a finish on here and really pop all of this gilt and great looking wood out. It ought to be neat. All right, come on. I'm getting old. This arm wears out faster. Anyway, I have Valspar high gloss lacquer. I was looking for satin, but they didn't have it in my store. But anyway, this is going to be our finish, and it's really a neat finish. It looks really good. It took me 30 minutes to figure out how to get this off. You pinch it. You should see me yanking on that thing all day trying to get that off last night. But anyway, how do you like this? This is protection for your lathe. I went out to the dollar store and bought a cheap gas grill cover and simply just cut a little hole here so this goes over the spindle. Because there's lots of times when you need to finish on your lathe, like today, because it's raining cats and dogs outside, and that's normally where I do my finishing. So we're going to suck it up for you today, and Brian and I are going to lose a few brain cells doing this in a non-ventilated area. Do not do this at home. It's not fun. But anyway, let's give this a shot here, literally, and you're going to love how this turns out. So, oh boy, this is better than I even thought. Look at that. That is incredible. Now, since this is a high gloss, I'm gonna probably buff this later. But you wanna put on a couple of coats at a time and make them, I'm just looking for any light areas right now. That looks pretty good. And this dries really quickly, but if you want to speed the process up, since we're already working with fire, you can get a heat gun and just bring it across. You don't want to stop at any point because it will get too hot. These things get really hot. But this will be dry enough in about 2 or 3 minutes that I can put another coat on there, and I can do several coats. But that's what that looks like. And on the bottom, let me show you how nice the wood turns out back here. This is really beautiful. Well, I hope you enjoyed this project on how to make my Ambrosia Maple Redemption. This is the Redemption, that's not. Burned and gilded platter. So until the next time on Wood Turning, keep turning.
Tim's American Beauty was made by Robust Tools, America's premier lathe manufacturer. Quality hardened tool rests and live centers too. Robust. Built to turn wood. Enjoyed for a lifetime.
Thompson Lathe Tools. Welcome to a new level of professional wood turning tools. Made by a wood turner for wood turners.